Hi there, and thank you for joining our presentation on the Sonoma County Library Facilities Master Plan Project Introduction. This short video will cover an introduction to the project approach, discuss our engagement opportunities that you can participate in, facility and network assessments, and the next steps. So who are we? My name is David Schnee. With me on this presentation is Jill Ayers and Neha Digakar, and we are the consultant planning team from Group 4 Architecture, Research, and Planning. And we are specialists in library planning and design, having worked on over 500 libraries across the country, and we have over a 15-year experience working with Sonoma County, and we're pleased to be engaging with you guys again today. So a little bit of background here is to go into the Sonoma County Library planning history. Back in 2003, Group 4 led an effort to prepare a facility master plan. And it was a comprehensive process to look at modernizing the facilities and build network capacity for the existing population and for future growth. One recommendation was for a new library in Southwest Santa Rosa. And from that, the new Roseland Library was thought of and came online in 2015. Also in 2015, the library's strategic plan was updated and it was followed by a new facilities master plan in 2016. And the emphasis there was on maintaining and improving the existing buildings. And in 2016, Measure Y passed with significant community support. Thank you so much for that. And that enabled the library to increase its budget, and to back last year in 2020, that encompassed 40% of the library's revenue. And Sonoma County Library has worked steadily to make good on Measure Y promises, including service and maintenance improvements at nearly all of the libraries, plus a new headquarters, more efficient operations, and freed up new space in the Central Library for public service. And work still continues. And last year, and through the first part of this year, a new library strategic planning process was conducted, and it was called the Reimagining Plan. And it presented clear goals and guiding principles for community service and impact. And that process had robust community engagement, which I'll describe right now. So as part of that history, last year, of course, the reimagining plan was done through the pandemic. But despite that, we still had robust input with multiple venues, English and Spanish opportunities to participate. And the emphasis was on community needs and vision, not just what people want from the library, but how can the library help the community and community members, families, and all succeed. At least 2,000 people participated in community conversations and surveys. We had interviews and listening sessions with library commissioners, library advisory board members, and other community leaders and stakeholders. And last but not least, staff who were vital to this. So Jill, can you take us to the next section about what we're doing now?
Yeah, that leads us to this project, this facilities master plan, which will build on the reimagining plan and all the good work that went into that. This is a 10-year master plan for library facilities in Sonoma County. One of the things we're going to be doing is updating the assessments of facilities from different perspectives. One is the actual technical condition of the facilities, how accessible they are, looking at library service and operations, and looking at the customer experience in each of those libraries. What are they like? How well do they serve the community generally? We're going to look also at the facilities, not just individually, but as a network, how they work together to deliver service countywide and how people can access library services countywide. We will be looking at best practices, both within Sonoma County Library System and nationwide, about library service and design, sustainability, operations, resilient design, all of those good things, including the lessons that Sonoma County Library and other libraries have learned during COVID about what works and what improvements might be needed there. Going to look at new opportunities and potentially new partnerships for the library, service, operations, and maybe even facilities. And we want to make sure that this master plan supports and promotes the library's strategic goals in the reimagining plan and the impacts that it wants to provide there. The goal is to have the facility recommendations ready to share with the commission and the community late winter, early spring of 2022. Right now, at the time we're recording this in mid-October, we're just sort of starting our assessments phase. We're just digging in a bunch of areas, and we'll share a couple of previous slides with you in a second on what we're looking at that. But first, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to participate in this process. Again, we're going to build on all the engagement that came before. We have access to that, but new opportunities here include a community survey that's available in both English and Spanish. We're working with a group of library staff. We're having a listening session with library advisory board members, working with city and county staff, members of the Joint Powers Authority, and the Library Commission itself over the next 6-7 months as part of this process. So with that, I think Neha is going to tell us a little bit about the kinds of things we're going to be looking at in our facilities.
As part of the facility assessments, we will be looking at the facility conditions, which will be facility condition assessment, which will be conducted by the National Specialty Consultant Bureau Veritas. We will be taking a comprehensive look at what it will cost to maintain current facilities over time, and measure why funding hasn't been enough to address everything recommended in the last master plan. And so we will be taking a comprehensive look at all of that. This is just an example of the different aspects of the current facilities that we'll be studying. We will be taking a look at how current facilities support library services, both traditional and new. That includes programs, technology, collections, gathering, and collaboration. How they support modern library operations, promote staff efficiency, effectiveness, and value. And the importance of resilience and flexibility that the COVID era has brought to light. And we will be going over network assessments next.
Great, thank you, Neha. So, of course, Sonoma County Library, as the name suggests, is a network of libraries that all residents within the county have at their disposal. And so we'll be looking at each of these libraries and how they work together as a system, how much space and what kind of space and where it's located in the county. Each library has sort of a hyper-local and a county-wide role. The next assessment that we'll be doing with that is something, and next slide, please, is what we call customer mapping. Here is a draft slide that we're working with another library partner, Orange Boy, and each one of these dots is a home location of somebody who borrowed a book during a particular period of time from the color-coded corresponding library location. And conventional wisdom had people thinking about their sort of their closest library as their library. But Sonoma County residents really are enjoying libraries from across the county. And when we take and start looking at each one of these library locations separately, as on the next slide, here, this being where people who use the HEALDSBURG Library. And so we see people coming from all the way far south as Rohnert Park are coming up to HEALDSBURG. And that we know that people in the county have a real mobile lifestyle and are traveling for work, for recreation, for family. And they know that they have access to this whole network of libraries. Another example is looking at Sebastopol's library. And we're doing this for each of the libraries too, and seeing that people coming from far and wide and using these libraries. And this allows us to take both a hyper-local approach to what's important in each of the neighborhoods and how the library is an important anchor in each of those communities, but how they can work together as a system. And this is something we're going to be exploring and trying to learn from this ongoing assessment work to see how that could influence how we can make the best recommendations for the future. And so, Jill, we finish up our presentation.
Our quick presentation. Yeah, wanted to invite you, thank you for spending a few minutes with us here today. To get involved, we have a community survey that is available in both English and Spanish. You can use the QR code here on the screen, or the library's website has the link as well. It has some simple questions about you and your community and what your priorities are for your community. Asks you to share some thoughts you have about individual library facilities, the one you use most often, all of them that you use most often, any that you care to share your thoughts on, and then anything else you have that you'd like to share with us about your community, about the library, anything else you want to make sure we know. I want to take a moment. David and I have been working on projects in the last couple of years, and you know, recent project in Lexington, Kentucky, their community survey got like 5,000 responses, I think it was. Recent one in San Diego, they got over 7,000 community survey responses. Cincinnati, Ohio, they got over 10,000 responses. So we're putting the challenge out here to you, to Sonoma County. come on, let's beat Cincinnati. Let's get more than 10,000 responses on this community survey. I know we can do it. So with that said, keep an eye on the Sonoma County Library's website. There will be updates by staff on the process at each one of the Library Commission meetings over the next few months. But look very much forward to seeing you in this process. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.